Yay. All right. Just thought I'd say a few things while we're testing the volume here. So come on down, have a seat as close as you can, and we'll start right on time. How about that? Getting a little bit of feedback here. Can you hear that? There, that's a little better. How about somebody way back there? Can you hear me? Yep, you can hear me? All right, okay. Come on down. So for those of you just coming in, for those of you who are sitting here now and who are walking in, because we have two types of audiences today, you need the packing handout. No, I'm not kidding. Because I'm going to refer to this, and on the back, it's got a checklist of some of the things that I'm showing. Now, maybe I can get some people from outside to come in and give that to you, those of you that are sitting here. And we're also online, so if any of you online people hear me right now, your packing list is on the website, okay? But for those of you that are in Edmonds, Washington sitting here, it's a light purple handout. It's got luggage on the front, a checklist on the back. So let's see if we can get some of those. Ooh, it is about time to start. So come on down and get a seat so you can see me. I feel like a car salesman. Come on down. All right. So, guess what class you're in? Packing Light and Right. So I want to make sure you're in the classroom that you're supposed to be in now. We're going to have a good time, really good time today. And this is a very exciting moment for us because for the first time ever, we're streaming live on Facebook. Yeah, woohoo! And so not only are we streaming live, but if you've noticed in your program, Rick is not physically here, but guess what? He's watching. So he's in Madrid. Hola, Rick. So you're in Packing Light and Right. It used to be called Packing 101, but we thought that might kind of dumb it down too much, but I didn't. I liked 101. But in any case, it's kind of the same sort of thing, all right? Right here, standing here, is something that I bring, these pieces of luggage, for 2 months out of the year. I heard somebody gasp and somebody laugh. 2 months out of the year. Okay, who is this girl standing here before you? Let me tell you a little bit about me. My name is Joan Robinson. I've been doing this packing class I've been working for Rick for over 14 years. I've been doing the packing class longer than that. I'm also a guide, and I lead tours to Italy. Any tour members here of mine? There's usually somebody. Lights are a little bright. Well, welcome in any case. And the things that I'm going to show you in my bag are clothes that are mine, and that any of you who know me might recognize them. I've packed in less than 20 pounds in this bag. But before I go into the whole spiel of my packing seminar and what I bring, the most important information you can have right now is a discount. Don't you love a good discount? Yeah. Well, today only, all our retail items, and it's on your program, it's on my handout, are 20% off. And for those of you that are streaming live with us, you can still get the 20% off discount. Just go to our web store at ricksteves.com. And that ends at 6 p.m. Pacific time, so you better get your shopping done before that. There's plenty of time between classes, and there's plenty of time afterwards. So get that in. For those of you that are streaming online, you're going to need a promotion code for today, and it's Festival in all caps. Now, one thing different that as I'm chatting with my audience here, someone else is going to be chatting online with the people out there, okay? And so those of you that are online, if you want to ask packing questions, please text them in and someone will answer them. My audience here, I would ask you not to ask questions while I'm doing this presentation because I have so much to tell you. I want to go ahead and get everything done in about an hour and a half. And we've got a great staff when you walk to the Travel Center, and any specifics on merchandise, they can answer all those questions for you. Sound good? Well, let's get going. You know, I was raised in Louisiana, so you might hear a little southern accent here. And every now and then you might hear a y'all or fixin' to, or might call you hun, but not being condescending or flirting there, but just being southern. Any southerners in here? Southerners? Yahoo! One thing about us southerners is we love to tell stories. And I'm going to tell you a few today. It all has to do with packing and traveling, and they're all true. But I bet you want to know what's inside this bag, don't you? Don't you? Yeah, absolutely. Before we do that, before I open up this puppy, I want to let you know that there is a rather famous man who's no longer with us anymore by the name of Johnny Cash. Yeah, Johnny. And Johnny had a saying, and it's in one of his songs, and this will be our mantra today. But it says, I ain't taking nothing that'll slow down our traveling. Okay, think about that for a minute. So that's what I'm going to show you today. I'm going to show you everything in here, why I bring it. And ladies, a bonus for you, this outfit that I have on, I'm going to show you how to wear it 10 different ways. Guys, you might snooze in the middle of that, but that's okay. All I ask is that all cell phones are off and that I have your undivided attention, and we'll get going here. So before I show you what's in here, I want to let you know that I've tagged my bag. What does that mean? No, there's no graffiti on my bag, but I have used a luggage tag, and it's actually on the list here that we have these in the office. I'll tell you the things that are in the office. On the list here, it's covered here. You cannot see my name from the outside. So my first story about this luggage tag is that several years ago, I was doing a packing seminar, and I was explaining that I could not take questions from my audience right here because I was trying to give you a lot of information, and could you leave them at the end, please? And so a guy in the middle of my discussion of that luggage tag said, Joan, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I just have to confirm what you're saying because I work at SeaTac Security. SeaTac is our airport here. And I want you to know that we go around, my team goes around the airport looking for people looking at your luggage tags. Okay, so let's think about that. What does that mean? Well, if your tag is exposed, not covered, and it has your home address, guess what? They know you're not home, okay? Now, what I would suggest, and I don't want you to get real obsessive over this, just tuck it in the back of your mind. What I would suggest is that you put your office address. If you're retired, put your neighbor's address. And if you have teenagers at home, put your neighbor's address, because the doors are going to be unlocked, you know, the whole time you're gone, so. Anyway, we have these lovely tags for you today. And the other thing I want to say is that, you know, you understand that if you do check your bag in, and I'm not going to go through all the fees. All the airlines have different fees. Some are free. What if you're a platinum person? You don't have to pay to check your luggage in, on and on and on. So we're not going to go through that. But let's say you want to lock I always advocate locking your luggage and having a lock anyway. On your checklist here, on your checklist is a TSA lock on this little list here. TSA lock. TSA lock happens to look a little bit like this, okay? And what it is let's say you check your bag in, and you know they're going to break your lock if it's a regular lock to look inside there, especially if you have something that won't penetrate the x-ray in the back. Yeah, they do x-ray them in the back. Let's say you're bringing something in a wooden box and they can't see through it. They're going to open your bag and look through it and see what it is, or some unusual shape. So you know they've looked in. The TSA has a key to this where they can open it. There is a little emblem right here. A lot of you can't see this. Maybe you streaming people can see this, but in the audience here, you're not going to be able to. It's a symbol. And when they open it up, it pops out, okay? And you know that they've looked in your luggage. So if anything's missing, you know who to go to, right? But actually, the object of this is they don't break your lock. And this is a great combination lock. So that's on your checklist today, too. We do have this in the Travel Center and online. And before I get into this puppy here, one more thing to tell you. Our luggage, just about all of our luggage, and that's, all the pictures are here. I want to point out that right here, what you're seeing now, this big red bag, and it comes in all colors of the rainbow, that's a Rollaboard. It's called the Rollaboard. You're able to try all this luggage out when you walk into our travel center. For those of you online, all the dimensions are there, all the colors are there for you. So the Rollaboard today, I really like. It's a lighter weight. It's got, the wheels are like inclined skate wheels. And it's got several pockets on the outside. And guess what? This is carry-on size. It's expandable, though. If you expand the luggage to about this much, it's no longer carry-on size. So you know how at the end of the trip, dirty laundry expands? I don't know why it does. You might have to check your bag in, okay? So be aware of that. Now, I do not have it expanded, and I'm not going to overstuff the front where all the pockets are, because if I do that, it's not carry-on size, and I like to carry my luggage on. Sometimes I have more than one connection, more than one tour. As I mentioned, I'm a tour guide. I also work in the office off-season. And I like having my luggage with me at all times. And for those of you that are close up on this piece of luggage, if you see a little bit of dirt, I'll have to apologize for that because this is the bag that I bring. So I'm going to tell you all the products I like and I bring, and there's many more on your checklist there, okay? So let's roll this down. Before I open the big hatch, I'm going to tell you what's in the little hatch here. I have jet lag really bad. You know, I've been traveling most of my life all over the world. I know every single remedy for jet lag there is, and not a whole lot works for me, except if I get into a hotel, check in, put my bag down, go out, get fresh air, have an early dinner. In Europe, they open at 7 p.m. for the Americans and Canadians. The locals usually eat at 9. If you're in Spain, 10. If you're in Greece, it's hopping at midnight. That's dinner, okay? They do sleep in the next day. But when I come back to the room, and let's say I make myself stay up till about 9 o'clock at night, and the first thing I want to get into is going to be on the outer part of my bag. You're not going to be able to see everything in the bag, so I'm going to try to hold everything up. But I pull out, in this half-gallon baggie, my jammies, pajamas, okay? I'll kind of tell you what's in this bag. These bags are great. You don't want to pack everything in Ziploc bags or Glad bags or whatever your preference is. But this fit actually a full-size pair of pajamas. There's some very colorful stuff here that you're not going to see today, but it's all mine. 8 pairs of underwear, a bra, 2 pairs of socks, all of that is in here. And get the zip type, the plastic zipper. So, you know, because the time you need to take to sit on the edge of your bed and the ones without the zipper and thread that and then they wear out, you don't want to take that time. Just pay the 75 cents more and get the kind with a zipper. Which reminds me is one guy called me a day after one of my packing seminars and said, Joan, I have looked all over the place for that baggie you're talking about, and I can't find the one with the metal zippers. So I'm here to tell you today they're plastic, folks. Okay, so I'm going to undo this, and I'm going to pull out my jammies, and I don't remember where I got everything, so, you know, please don't ask me. I don't care if my pajamas are wrinkled. But I want you to know, I love green. It's my favorite color. It's just a full-size pair of pajamas. Here's the top. And here's the bottom. Just a normal size. And I will let you know that if you're staying at one of our quaint hotels, in our books, we mention all the hotels that we like. And let's say you're in France. In some of the smaller hotels in France, and I know you just heard a France talk a couple of talks ago, and the very small ones that we love, sometimes they don't have staff at the desk after 9 o'clock at night, okay? So there's nobody to ask questions for, and all the lights are on automatic in the hallway, and sometimes a bathroom is down at the end of the hall, okay? There will be Europeans that will walk down the hall in all modes of dress or undress, which reminds me of what I call the underwear story that I'm going to tell you. It was when I first started guiding tours for Rick. All of us guide on the Best of Europe trip. It's our 21-day trip. We still have that today. It's a wonderful tour. We do have people in the tour department today, too, if you want to talk about any tours, but that's a wonderful tour. And I was staying at a hotel down the street the day before my tour was to start, because usually we take up a tour, takes up the whole hotel, okay? So if any of you are signed up for a tour, you better make your reservation for the hotel you want to stay in, because we leave about every 2 days from the tour hotels. But I was staying down the street, and I knew at that time we only had Belgian bus drivers. This was many years ago. And I knew there were about 3 drivers that were staying in the hotel that I was staying in, and I knew that they were leaving every 2 days. Well, the morning that I was to leave, I got up, I was in my jammies, I got everything in my hand, I trucked down to the end of the hall, and I got to the middle of the hallway, and all of a sudden the door opened, boom, and I look up, and there's like this 6'7" Belgian, and he says, "Good morning," and I look down, and he's in red underwear. And then he goes in ahead of me down the hall and gets in the shower. So I'm shuffling back, okay. I'm shuffling back to my room, and I'm waiting for him to get out, and I'm putting my ear against the door, not his bathroom door, but my door, listening for him to come out, and he finally does. And then I go down and get my shower. I pack up. I go down the street, and outside in a beautiful little cafe having coffee was the same driver, fully clothed. And so he says, "Come here." And I sit down with him, and I start talking to him, and I find out he's going to be my driver for the next 21 days. And so you know how they say picture somebody in your underwear? Well, then, yeah. But anyway, I've gotten to know, this is a true story, I've gotten to know this driver throughout the years, and we have many types of drivers now. We're all like buddies. We're all like brothers and sisters. We know each other. We work very well together. And years later, he found out that I was doing this packing seminar, and he said, "Joan, I want you to bring a message back to the people," you know. And he said, "You know, we're Europeans. We're proud of our body. You know, so we go down the hall in our underwear." You know, because over the years, I laughed about it, and I told him that I told the story. And he said, "The only people that ever stare at us are the Americans and the Canadians." So don't do that. And if you go down the hall in one of our quaint little hotels in pajamas like this, you're going to be the best dressed person there. Because let me tell you, on the beach, they wear less or nothing, okay? Depending on the beach, you know. So feel free. Experiment. Anyway, that's what I do is I reach for my jammies on the outside because I'm so jet lagged. I can't think of anything else but getting in there and having a good night's sleep and getting up my regular time. So yes, I've tried melatonin and everything else, and that's what works for me. Go out, get a breath of fresh air, come back in, and eat early. So you see me pushing on this bag, or some of you in the front row can hear it. Just push all the air out and zip it up, and then stick it in your front pocket. One girl told me she actually puts her mouth on it and sucks out all the air, but I don't advocate going that far. Now, ladies, you do know that I'm going to show you how to wear this outfit about 10 different ways sometime in this packing seminar. So I do want to tell you, since I am a wonderful lover of scarves, I think they're fantastic souvenirs. And I have a bunch of scarves in the little bag here, and I'm going to show you how to dress up an outfit with scarves. Just to give you a good example, because, on our tours, we don't take you shopping. That's one thing we do not do, but it's in your face all the time. You know you have friends that are going to say, bring me something back, okay? And something very easy to bring is a scarf. This is one that never made it to my mother because I love it so much. Beautiful, isn't it? And you can bargain with all of this, especially if there's a kiosk outside. Be sure, if you do some shopping on your own and not with a tour group, that you go away from whatever the historical center is, because guess what? When you're buying pashminas or the fakeinas that look like pashminas, the further away you get from that historical site, the lower the price is going to be. 25 euros, 20 euros, 10 euros, all the way down at the end of the street is 5 euros. So, and it doesn't take any time to do that. So there's your souvenir, okay? For guys, you can buy mufflers the same way, all right? So I'm going to show you this in a minute. I think it's time we open this, don't you? Let's do it. All right. Okay. So this opens up in kind of a rectangular fashion, all right? At the bottom of every piece of luggage, I will hold this up and show you how neat my bag is packed. Can some of you see that? And I'll tell you how, I'll hold up what's in here and tell you how I've gotten that packed. Did I show you this little thing here yet? This is inside every piece of luggage. It's not a money belt. It's called a security pocket, basically. It's got a hook on the end. This is free in your luggage. If you open it up, this is really great. It's got some net bags for you to put loose items in. Comes with every piece of luggage. What you're going to do is put anything you want to store in this security that's not the original. Maybe you want to put a copy of your passport, a copy of your credit cards, a copy of something. Put it in here, clip it in the bag. It's the same color as the lining, and you're good to go. When I leave my hotel room, I do use my lock that I showed you, and I lock my bag. And not because I don't trust, I know all the people that run the hotels, they're great people. It's not because I don't trust the people working in the hotel. I don't know who's staying in the hotel besides our tour members. You know, and so if they're changing the linens and the door is open and they're down the hall getting the linens or downstairs, my bag is open, right? So I'm going to lock it. I just think of the little precautions I can take. In all the years I've been traveling, most of my life, knock on wood, and the fact that I'm hyper aware of everything going on around me, which is hard when you have beautiful scenery. Nothing's ever happened to me. I've never gotten mugged. Have my tour members gotten mugged? One or two, because they didn't listen to me. But you're going to have enough information today to go away with some good stuff. Now, you see this little bag here that I'm gaga over with the water bottle hanging right here. This is on your list today, and it's the bag, the Veloce bag for iPad, but I've renamed it. It's on your list as the iPad bag. I've renamed it the go-to bag for everything because a lot fits in here, and guess what? This baby expands, and you can expand it and stuff it like a Thanksgiving turkey, and it's still carry-on size. How about that? And put your, if you just can't live without your technology, put your iPad in it, your e-reader, or anything else you want to that's not, that does not have to do with technology. This is a great bag. Now, for those of you going on our tour, you're going to get a free Chivita bag, and it's actually going to be this color, okay? So we're throwing in this free bag in a graphite color. It's upside down for you. Now, if you'd rather carry the backpack type, which is perfectly fine, This fits in, it's carry-on size, and it fits in more than the tech bag, but did you see me take it out of my suitcase here? It's got Victoria's Secret material, that's what I call it, because it's so soft, you know, and silky. And you can just roll it right up like this, and it fits in your bag. I think it's a great idea if you want to bring home souvenirs, and especially if you're traveling with someone. Let's say you check in because your dirty laundry expanded your bag up. Or you bought some breakable items and you want them in here. It's perfect for that. But what I'm going to do, because as a guide I sometimes have lecture books, is I'm going to put my iPad bag inside this bag. I'm going to have one bag. So that's what I plan on doing. But anyway, this is your Trevita Day bag, and it's on your checklist today, and it's online for those of you that are streaming right now. So I'll tell you what's in this, but later. All right, let's go here, because I'm so excited about what I have in here today. One of my favorite items, and I'm looking up here on stage to see if we have this, and I don't think we have this. It's your toiletry bag. This is on your checklist, and you're thinking, man, that's big. We have 2 sizes. This is hard to leave behind red. Can you see a red theme here? I do love red. We have, for you guys, we have a toiletry kit that's half this size. For us women, we have more things to put on our face, I think. And we like this size. If you're like me, and I'm allergic to everything, I have to bring some of my own items. Now, you do know that if you carry on, there's a limit size to your liquid, and it's 3 ounces, okay? And I do adhere to that. I carry on. So I just bring a little bit, because guess what? I can get everything I want in Europe. So I don't have to bring everything. But I will tell you that if you do check in and you want to put your own bottles, and ladies, you have this size, you can put your larger bottles in there if you want. This comes empty. You put in your own bottles. Always bring a net puff, because some of our 3-star hotels that we stay in don't have washcloths, so I use that, and that dries out. A variety of bottles that fit in here. Hey, this is a real mirror. You know how they have those fake mirrors in toiletry kits? Why? I don't know. But it also comes off. It's Velcro. I have a lot of thick hair, so I have a shower cap inside the zipper compartment here. On the back is another zipper compartment. On the sides are, this thing just has all kinds of bells and whistles. On the sides it has mesh, and so I have toothpaste, styptic pencil. Guys, I would advocate bringing a hand razor. Oh my. I know you're used to the type that is electric or battery operated, but they're big and they're bulky, and if you can get by with a hand razor, I would say do it. You know, save some room in your bag there. But love our toiletry kit. And the other thing I want to show you is probably my favorite of the whole shebang in my box, and it is these packing cubes, and it's definitely on your checklist. These are great, folks. These are really wonderful. A long time ago, we ran across some cubes kind of like it, and we liked them so much that we had our person design it and get it out there, and there's 3 to a pack. And 2 of them are this size, and 1 of them's really large, and guess what? I put all my loose toiletry items that I'm going to show you in here, and the big one, it's got my whole clothes for 2 months. Look at this. It's incredible. I love it. I'm going to tell you how I keep my clothes from wrinkling too, okay? But let's look in here, because I kind of want to show you some of the items in here. And I'm going to open this up. And like I said, I don't remember where I got everything, but let's start with a new item, and it says new on your checklist there. And it is this little travel aid kit. And let me tell you why I like the travel aid kit. Because I don't have time to put together the Band-Aids, the Neosporin, whatever I need in a kit, where I can just get it in a small little casing like this. Now, the travel aid kit even has a little sewing kit inside of it. So it is really fantastic. I love it. And so that's what I carry with me. And the other thing that I absolutely, of course, have to have is an adapter. And I'm going to show you the different types of adapters. But first, before I do that, I want to show you how I dry my hair because I have a lot of hair and I need to bring a hair dryer. And I tell you what, in different parts of Europe, sometimes they have hair dryers in the room, but they don't work as efficiently, I found out, especially in Italy, as we want them to. So if you have a lot of hair, guys and girls, I would advocate finding a dryer this small, and they're everywhere. Look at this tiny little baby. Look, that dries all my hair. Yeah, well, I got that at Brookstone, okay? It's a place in the mall. Really important, for those of you going for the first time, I'm going to kind of explain this. Engineers, close your ears, because I'm going to explain this in layman's terms, okay? For the most part, we have 180 volts for electricity, okay? I already see somebody laughing at me. When you go to Europe, it's 220 to 240, something like that. So what does that mean? This is not going to work unless you have some way to adapt it, all right? So you've got to get a travel hairdryer, all right? And it says underneath, usually, the words travel hairdryer, it says dual voltage. That's what you need. So you got that. That's great. Well, when you go to plug it in, the plug is not going to fit in the socket, right? Yes. Have you experienced that? Yes. So if you force it in, it's going to be bad news, okay? Don't do that. So what you need for most of Europe and the travel center people, when you walk in our travel center, or if you go online, it will explain to you which adapter goes for which country. But for the most part of Europe, you have this sleek little sophisticated two-prong round adapter like this, okay? By the way, if you get dual voltage, you don't have to have what's called a converter, okay? Because the switch does it for you, right, on the hairdryer. So most of Europe, the little sleek, but the way I remember the other, like Great Britain is an entity into itself, right? Several countries. For the most part, not on the euro. There's some exceptions. And so the way I remember, I'm going to London, the adapter I need is their big, honkin', great adapter, okay? That's it. We have these. This is really cool because these two adapters that I just showed you, if you're going to one or the other place and you're not going to multiple countries, they're $1 in the travel center, okay? So stock up today. Buy more than one because you're going to leave one in the socket. I guarantee you it happens all the time, so you need to bring more than one. And you don't want to try to spend your time, you're in Venice, trying to find a hardware store, which, by the way, I know where that is, but and going up there and trying to find the adapter you want, okay? So if you're going to multiple countries, we have a pretty huge type adapter, but it's got every country available. Let's say you're doing an around-the-world trip. This is really big, so you really don't need this unless you're going to several countries. The travel center staff can explain this to you again, but for the most part, you're going to be dealing with these two adapters, okay? All right, so you got your hair dryer ready to go. I will tell you that nowadays, most digital cameras, most chargers for any technology you have, if you notice, there's a box. You have the wire, and there's a box on the end of it, especially cameras, and then you plug it in. You still need the adapter, but that box is your converter, okay? So you don't need to buy a bulky converter. I would check with the manufacturer first, or just look in the manual if you still have it, especially for cameras, okay? But, I plug in my charger for my iPad with an adapter on the end. It's got its own little converter. It's actually right by the plug now. So there we go. I also want to mention that, speaking of hair, there's the next product that I want to show you. And I will say you can also go online in the handout today, and I'll tell you streaming people, that there is a woman's packing list, which I think is great. It covers a whole bunch. It's about this long. And then there's Rick's packing list. You decide which one you want to take, but it all covers basically what you need, okay? Now, one of the things on the packing list you can bring that's very small that I have in this packing cube today, but you have to have hair to use it, guys. And that's baby powder. That's my dry shampoo. I mean, there are times when I don't have time to turn around. I've got 28 people waiting for me on tour downstairs. I can't wash my hair. I'll baby powder it. I even do this here in the States. You just baby powder the ends here. You rub it all around like this. You brush your hair out like crazy, and you have, looks like clean, shiny hair. Really, it's true. And you can bring it camping. You can use it for your body. You can use it for your stinky feet, everything, you know. So be adventurous with this too. But I think it's really great to have, and this little one has lasted me, oh gosh, over a year, and I travel a lot. So I highly advocate this for dry shampoo. Can you buy the dry shampoo now? You can. Remember years ago they had the spray one because they were afraid it would harm the ozone layer, and then they took it off the market. Then now we have no more ozone layer, and they put it back on the market. But it's kind of in a pump form now. Yeah, we'll spend the $5, $6, or do you want to go to a drugstore and spend $1 something? It'll last you over a year, so up to you. While we're talking about those types of body things and so forth, I've got another little baggie. So really, you're going to see 3 Ziploc bags that I have here. I'm not going to pack with any more than that. I tried doing more than 3 bags, and guess what? The baggies took up more room than the items that were inside it. So anyway, don't need very many. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring some small amounts of travel aids, you might say, with me, because I know I can buy just about everything over there. And you know how when you're walking around sightseeing, and on our tours you walk 6 to 10 miles a day, and really folks, that's regular sightseeing miles. That's what you're going to walk anyway, except those of you that are traveling independent, you're going to walk more than that because you don't really know where you're going. So when you've had a hard day like that, what do you think is the most abused part of your body? Oh, your feet. I mean, is it not true that when your feet hurt, it radiates all the way up to the roots of your hair? And it is very uncomfortable. So one thing I advocate is bringing Vaseline, okay? There's like a runner's stick and stuff you can put on your feet that runners use, but Vaseline is very cheap. It has more than one purpose. What I do is I Vaseline my feet, seriously, Vaseline my feet, and nothing penetrates that. I don't get blisters. It's great. You know, if I do get a blister on the back, if I missed a spot and I get a blister on the back of my heel, then I'm going to get out my travel aid kit and put a Band-Aid on that. But for the most part, Vaseline it all up. Now, that reminds me of another story, because being from the South, you know, I was used to a certain different culture, and the weather's different than the Northwest, way different. And so after one of my classes, a guy came up to me and he said, I want to know, can I still Vaseline my feet if I wear socks with sandals? And I went, you wear socks with sandals? I never knew that phenomenon that was in the Northwest. You know, he goes, yeah, my wife does too. Because if you did that in the South, you'd burn up, you'd roast. It's humid, you know, you never did. But over the years, that's one of the most common questions I get from guys. Yes, you can do that. But girls, I do want to tell you that if you Vaseline your feet and you don't have socks on, don't wear backless shoes like mules or anything. You'll slip right out, okay? And be prepared if you wear sandals and you have your feet Vaseline, that if you're in the Colosseum in Rome, that you're going to pick up a little souvenir of dirt. It will attract dirt. but you just wash it off, you know, and you're good to go, and it's really going to help you a lot. Now, other over-the-counter items that I have in here, just a little bit of, oh, it's allergy season, isn't it? Big time. I'm not complaining. The sun is shining in Edmonds, Washington, and I love it. So I bring a little bit of Benadryl. That's for me. That's what works for me. You have to bring what works for you. And let's just talk over-the-counter right now. I'll talk prescription next, okay? So bring just a little bit of each. They have it all there, or the equivalent of it, or the generic of it. The one thing that all over Europe they seem to have that's the same name as ibuprofen. And I was in Greece a couple of years ago, and very seldom do I get headaches, so I don't bring ibuprofen. I had a headache that day. It was probably sinus related. So I went to the pharmacy. I walked in, and you'll experience this if you haven't already. You walk in and you think, there's nothing here. There's like there's high price SPF lotions and Givenchy this and really cool reading glasses, but where is everything? I'm in a pharmacy. Well, if you stood there just for a few minutes and you watch the locals walk in, what are they doing? They're all going up to the cashier's desk. They're asking for the stuff because everything's back there, all right? Even if you lose your earplugs that we give you when you go on tour, because we stay in lively parts of the city, if you lose the earplugs, I guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, you go to the cashier, they're in the drawer underneath the cash register, okay? And they have 3 types: wax, foam, and rubber, okay? So everything's behind there. You just need to ask for it. Even the over-the-counter stuff most likely will be there. And of course, your prescription, you always have to ask for at that little desk, okay? So I asked for, the Greek language I have a really tough time with. I'm pretty good with languages, but that's hard. There's some areas where English is not quite understandable. I'm talking about remote areas. And so this was one of those areas, and I walked up, and I just said, oh, what the heck, ibuprofen. She knew what I was talking about. I got it. It said ibuprofen. And so everywhere I went, I said, do you have ibuprofen? Yes. And they showed me the label because I was curious doing this packing seminar, so you're good to go for that. And the other thing I bring is a little bit, I have a problem with cracked heels. They get dry. Okay, your Vaseline works during the day. Sometimes you need a little bit more than that. And what I use my socks for is to lubricate my feet, wear socks overnight, maybe a heavier type of lotion with me. And I wake up in the morning and they're tough, but baby soft. So it's a good aid for you that's inexpensive and easy to carry. So that's basically what I have in this little baggie here. While we're at it, I want to talk about prescription drugs. It's a problem. A lot of us are on prescriptions that we have to take with us, that we need at all times. What happens, let's say if you're in, let's take Italy, since I'm an Italy guide, and the mail is terrible there, sorry to say. But except if you go to Vatican City, the mail is great, okay? But let's say that you took a train out of Rome. You were at the Termini station and took a train out of Rome, and you realized when you were heading up north to Milan, you left your heart medication on the counter in the bathroom. I tell you what, having that mailed to you by the time you get there, I don't know about that, okay? You need to have an extra prescription with you. Get the doctor to write it out. Tell them that you would like it for your own peace of mind. And that goes for any other prescription that you can't live without. And we're talking prescription only. Well, while I'm saying this, I do want to tell you that it needs to be in its original bottle. Original bottle. Okay, I know what some of you are thinking. Those bottles are huge. I might have a bottle this big, and my pills take up this much space, okay? Ask for the brown bottles. You know how everything's in little small brown bottles? I think I brought a copy with me here today. I usually, ahead of time, say, I want a small bottle to fit my prescription in. It doesn't matter if you get your medication online, there's always a comment section online, or if you walk into a pharmacy, or if you have, say, group health and you have them mail it, or someone like that. Ask for the smaller bottles. And what you can do, I've done this before, the labels are almost all standard. If you have a standard label on a big, huge bottle, I just peel it off and put it on the other bottles. They just want the numbers on it. They want to make sure that if it's a controlled substance, that a doctor did indeed prescribe it at that quantity and that the expiration date is current. It's not expired, okay? If you have, I didn't go through this with vitamins, and I really need to do this because I know someone asked me, they told me that they were going to be on a 21-day trip and that they took something like 10 vitamins a day. Add that one up. That's huge, okay. What I would do with all your vitamins, just throw them in a baggie. That, you know, over-the-counter does not need to be in its original bottle. Throw them in a baggie, and if you're still worried about it, take a non-erasable pen and just write vitamin C, vitamin E, fish oil, if you want. The Europeans invented vitamins. They know what they are. When you bring a mass quantity of something like that, they're just afraid that you're going to sell it, you know, and so they need to tax it properly and so forth and so on. So if you feel more comfortable about that, if you're on a huge regimen like that, put it in there. The other thing that I want to address very briefly, because I've had a lot of questions about this, CPAP machines. Do you know what that is? If you have sleep apnea, and some of them are portable now, well, guess what? A lot of them have dual voltage, and you can bring it. But this is what I would suggest. A lot of times, the electrical outlets are in the weirdest places in your hotel room. It's not always next to the lamp. You know, it's like strung out with an extension cord or whatever. Those of you that really need to bring that machine, I advocate bringing an extension cord. They have smaller ones so that you can bring it close to the bed because that's where you're going to use it, okay? Let's go on, and I want to tell you, yes, Virginia, there is deodorant in Europe, okay? Buy the trial size things at any drugstore. They usually have a travel aisle where you can buy all these nifty trial size products. So that's a good deal for you. And I think it's about time I showed something that was in our travel center. And there's this little item right here that I love. I know that you need this, and it's an alarm clock. It's huge. And you're saying, I have an alarm clock on my cell phone. And if I turn off roaming, I can use it. Yeah, I do the same thing, but guess what? I have two with me because I cannot miss meeting the group somewhere or catching that train or flying out. And the reason why I like our alarm clock, well, two reasons. Number one, I can hit the snooze button and see what time it is during the middle of the night. I don't know why we have to do that, but we do. I guess it's human nature. And the letters, the second reason, letters are big and I don't have to use my reading glasses to see them. There is a third reason. This thing is so darn annoying. And it starts out with a, isn't that what you want in an alarm clock? It starts out with a small beep, very piercing, beep, 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 and you just have to shut that thing off and you're awake. So I love it. And then it packs up into nothing so it won't accidentally turn on or it won't accidentally change the time on this little alarm clock. So that's in the travel center and it's on your checklist. Of course, I've got makeup in here. It's your option. I bring my makeup. And I want to talk about clothes, washing clothes. Yes, there are laundromats all through Europe. If you want your clothes washed, they do a heck of a job washing them. They'll come out in wringers. I wouldn't do anything very delicate in there. And if you, and they have really short cycles. And if you dry your clothes, it dries the heck out of them. So if it's a shrinkable item, I would advocate washing by hand. So the things you're probably going to wash by hand is your delicacies. Is that a Southern term? Your underwear, okay. And what I would do is, I use my shampoo or, you know, whatever soap I have with me or whatever bar of soap is sitting there by the sink. That's what I do. If I don't want to wash the whole item, there is something that you can use. Again, you can get at a grocery store or the drugstore. And you know that Shout stain remover, Shout? It's now in little wipe form. Look at this. And it's been out for quite a while. So I need to get a new little thing here because I use it all the time. So it looks like this. It's like a nappy. What do you call it for the babies? But you undo it, and if I spill red wine on this, it comes out here. I've gotten ink stains out. We carry some in our office. Now our receptionist carries some in our office for the staff. It's great stuff. I know there's like Tide pens and all the other pens. Shout just works best for me. And so that's what I use. But any form of that will do it. So if I'm washing my clothes by hand, I have one nifty item that we do have in our travel center today. And that is, I love it. It's our clothesline. Our clothesline. Let me tell you what I really love about this. You know how when you walk into, especially those of you who've been to Europe, you walk into the room, sometimes a closet is an armoire. Usually it is. You open the door, there's 3 hangers. And you've got to wash clothes. And there's not a whole lot to drape on in the bathroom. So what are you going to do? I would bring my own clothesline because this one has braiding. A lot of you can't see this, but there are braids. I'm going to pull them apart like this. And your clothes just hang in there like this. Okay. See that? So you can hang a lot of things in here. And what I really like about this is it does not have suction cups on the end. Why would you put suction cups on this in a humid environment like the bathroom? So what it does is it has Velcro. My wrists are the tiniest part on me, so I'll just show you how it can go around anything that's odd shaped too. It doesn't have to be round. You stretch it out in the bathroom. I have a friend that works in the tour department that brings 2 because sometimes the bathrooms are really strange. They're either really tiny or they're really big, like you're living in a convent, okay? But it stretches all the way out. And then when the clothes are dry and you're taking them off of this line here, you can turn it around and use it to pump weights. No, I'm kidding. I just wanted to see if you were alive here. And I wanted to let you know this is really sturdy, like surgical tubing, okay? So I suppose you could do that if you wanted to. But let's say you took the clothes down, you were in a big hurry, the clothes weren't dry, okay? Well, we've solved that on your checklist today. For products, we have a quick dry towel. They come in all sizes. Green is another favorite color of mine. Look at this beautiful green towel. It is so useful. I love it. It's got a little tag on the end. This little tag on the end you can hang up and it snaps, excuse me. What you do is you put your clothes in here and you squeeze them all out. It's like a chamois microfiber. And then you can pack your clothes. It's great for squeezing the excess out. But what I really like it for is most of the hotels, if it's in the swim season time, they don't want you to bring towels with you. Invariably, you go down where they'll rent you a towel and there's no towels left. This is great to bring out to the beach areas. It's great for a picnic table. Be inventive here. And it's also wonderful to pack up any wet items with and roll them in and put them back in here too. At home, you can use it again when you get back from your travels after you've washed your car. It's like a chamois. It's very soft. It's great. It takes up no room in this bag. You're going to see me pile everything up here because you're going to be amazed at what all I brought for under 20 pounds here. Okay. So one more item before we get into the little fashion show, so to speak, is that I always bring something to protect my shoes. And speaking of shoes, I'm not going to go into a large spiel about what are the best walking shoes, because what works on me is not going to work on you. But all I want to say about that, make it an event when you buy your shoes, okay? If you walk into a large department store, you're going to have 15 shoes to pick from that say walking shoes. You want to make sure they're walking shoes. You want to make sure they fit when you put them on your feet. Ladies, don't say, these are so cute, they'll stretch. Okay. I do that too, but I've learned my lesson, okay? Make sure they fit and you're able to walk out the door on them. The only thing you should do is break them in because maybe they squeak, or shoes have different balance now. They either kind of pitch you a tiny bit forward or a tiny bit back, and so you want to get used to that balance depending on the brand, okay? So you kind of want to break them in. Now, let me tell you another story. I, at one point, was working in the public area of the tour department, and I was sitting, when you walk into the travel center, you'll see on your left-hand side when you walk in that there's a tour person sitting there. And I used to be at that desk for a while, and then I moved into another area of the building. I had a guy come up to me, I guess he was about 30 years old, and he said, you know, I don't know anything about Europe, but I really want to go to Italy. And I thought, great. And he said, but I've got to know something. Is Italy a third world country? You know, we try not to laugh at people at Rick Steves Europe, and we try to educate, and you know, and I said, no, it's not. And I remembered him, and I thought, wouldn't it be great to bring something back to prove that Italy is not a third world country? And so I don't bring this today, but I want to show you that there is shoe polish. Look at this shape. It's the same one we have here. There's an Italian label on it, okay? So they have virtually everything you need if you run out of it. One of the things I do bring, being the Southern girl I am, and I like my shoes shined and I'm gone for 2 months, is I did get this at Target, I'll let you know, and every time I have a class afterwards, they're sold out of this, but it's what I call the magic sponge. So if you're a neat freak like me and just have to have something to shine your shoes, this just opens up and it's this sponge that shines your shoes. And so you can get that, you know, probably just about anywhere. But that's what I bring. And my shoes just happen to be, some of them are Clarks, some of them are Siebels. My husband wears, I think they're Merrells, you know. It's whatever fits your foot. Make sure they're comfortable and they don't pinch is the big thing. Now, why don't we get on to the fashion show part of it, because we need to be moving on here. So I'm going to get this big bag out, and I'm going to stand on the side here and open this up. And the first thing I want to tell you is that I've rolled all my clothes. Hey guys, you know what military rolling is, right? A lot of you. That's the way I advocate packing my clothes, okay? So I'll show you the first item that I've packed, and it's like this. I'll show you what it is in a minute. And it's like in this little, what I call a wiener roll, okay? So what I've done is, you know how when you're at a department store and you see clothes that are sitting there on a table kind of like this, okay? It's the same thing. Fold the arms in, okay? Take the tail, pull it and roll it, pull it and roll it. Some of these items I have in my bag have been packed for 24 hours, so you'll see the wrinkability of them, if that's a word, okay? This is cotton, just a denim cotton, and it's a vest, all right? So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to take off this sweater. One time I had a group that was going, woo, take it off. I don't know what kind of show they thought they were in, but it's not that kind of show, folks. Okay, so before I take this off, though, I do have a saying that I've got to let you in on, all of you in on. And I always say, if you don't wear it more than 3 times, don't bring it. I think that bears repeating. If you don't wear it more than 3 times, okay, don't bring it. Let's think about that. Haven't you ever packed and said, I think I'll wear this, I think I'll wear that? No, 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 no thinking. You're going to wear your outfit more than 3 times. Nobody is going to notice that you wore that same shirt 4 or 5 times, really and truly. So let's say you were gone for 3 weeks. How many outfits would you need, really and truly? depending on you, 4 to 6 combinations. But I should be able to wear everything I have on now and layer up or unlayer with everything that I'm going to show you and not look like a clown, okay? So that's what I'm getting at. If you don't wear it more than 3 times, don't bring it. That's going to help you a lot. That's going to weed out so much. It's incredible. So keep that in mind. So I'm going to take this off. And today, just for the sake of showing you how these clothes work, I'm in a sleeveless blouse. I'm in pants today. Sometimes I'll wear a skirt up here. It just depends. I was tempted to wear capris, but it was 41 degrees when I got up this morning. So whatever you ladies want to wear. And so I've got sleeveless, and you know, a long time ago, reminds me of another story. When I took off the sweater, I heard the ladies in the audience gasp. You know, and I said, I know what you're thinking. I said, you know what? If you're in the south of Spain in July and it's 110 degrees, you're thinking, why? I'd never wear sleeveless. I say just let it flap in the breeze. Because nobody's going to care. And you're comfortable. Different body image over there, okay? So don't worry about it, ladies. I've got on a scarf. All my scarves tell a story. I'm going to try to take this off without hitting into the mic here. But the other story I have to tell you is, oh, hello. We have a baby in the audience. It's a future traveler. We on our Europe tour, which is really exciting. If you've never been to Europe, you've got to go either on the 14-day or the 21-day tour, because you go to different countries. It's just enough time in the country you're in, and you get such a great flavor, and you know where you want to go back. So I highly advocate that for those of you who haven't been. But we were in Amsterdam, and we went to the Keukenhof. Is anybody familiar with the Keukenhof? Have you heard of that? It's actually like, to me, it's one huge garden. And you stroll through the fields of tulips and all kinds of blooming things. It's just absolutely beautiful. And lo and behold, in a small section of it, there was a gift shop. And that's where I got this tulip scarf. So see, my scarves tell a story, just like yours can, if you want them as souvenirs. And I remember everything that happened that day. So if I take this off and I want to change my outfit up just a hair, maybe I'll use it the traditional way, just like a wrap. Some people use it as belts, but I'm not a big belt person, but you could do it that way. I've changed it up just a tiny bit. But if I want to totally change my outfit up, and I do like red, I'm going to go to the red item I just showed you, which is a vest. And ladies, vests that go all the way down past your hips really hide a multitude of sins, okay? So I did not say this, but I want to say this. Have you noticed I buttoned this all the way up before I rolled it? Very important, button it up, zip it up, roll it the way I just taught you, and you're good to go. Now, I can take this off, and you can pretend that this sleeveless blouse is long sleeves or 3/4 length, or I have on capris. I'm just using it as a base to show you today. And also, you could have khaki underneath, or Loden green, or any of the basic colors, gray, or anything you want, and mix and match your clothes. The most important thing I can tell you, especially for the ladies, is make sure that the clothes you think you're going to bring, buy them so they fit you today. And that means don't think that before I leave on this trip, I'm going to lose 10 pounds and get in these clothes, okay? Wear comfortable clothes. Wear comfortable ones. If you have old clothes you don't want to bring with you all the way on the trip, leave them behind. But either discard them, or if they're wearable and they're clean, they're halfway decent, fold them on the bed, put them there like you meant to leave them, and that way you can lighten your load with the suitcase. But let's use this as a jacket. So let's say that this was my jacket for the day, and I'm going to change up the outfit just slightly, okay? I can use it as a jacket, or if I didn't have this blouse on and I buttoned it all the way up, this happens to have a belt, okay? I'm going to make a 2-piece outfit out of it. Get my hair out of the way here. So I won't button it all the way up right now, but you'll get the idea. I am just making a two-piece outfit, and I have another outfit. And I basically have on the same layers I had on before, okay? So let's say that we're going to Switzerland. We're in Italy now, we're going to Switzerland, and the weather is quite different, right? Because there's high altitude, there's the Alps, we want to go up and see some beautiful scenery. I'm going to need to layer up. So we're on one of the tours, and we go to the Lauterbrunnen Valley, and I know that I can't be sleeveless or short sleeve, and I'm going to be hiking in the valley a little bit. So I do have some khaki pants in here. I advocate bringing khakis or cotton pants. You can bring jeans, they're perfectly fine. But if you're in the rainy season, jeans getting wet and drying out, that takes a while, okay? If you're in the hot season, jeans are hot. So, breathable cotton, maybe with a tiny bit of spandex or elastin in it, is great, okay? The zip-off pants, the zip-off pants are fine. My husband wears them when we travel all over the place. The only funny thing about those zip-off pants is they make noises when you walk, swishing noises. So if you're okay with that, we're going to the Lauterbrunnen Valley, and I'm going to layer up. So I do love green. This is rayon. This sweater is rayon. So I'm going to unpack this. And rayon is great because the wrinkles will fall out as you wear it, okay? You want to hand wash this, and I would just hand wash spots of it. Now, one of the things that we do in the own privacy of our home that we don't tell anybody about to see if an item needs washing is the sniff and smell test. Okay, just wash that area under the arm. Nobody ever accused me of stinking on tour, okay? So you can wash portions of an item. You don't have to wash the whole thing. And I've used this many times. The valley is quite warm sometimes. And I'm going to use this as a jacket. And as we're hiking up, and we do this on our tours, we go through the valley. And I'm going to button up because we're going to go up the gondola, not the water type, but the side of the mountain type. And we're going to go up to the Schilthorn. And if you've read any of Rick's books, you know there is a place called, the restaurant for short, I just call it Gloria. It's where James Bond was filmed, actually. It's kind of fun. There's a restaurant up there. And you go outside, and there's a lookout area where you can see the beautiful scenery, take your pictures. Have to stand there for a while because, clouds come in and out. And it's a lot of fun. We do that as a group. You can do that independently, too. And when we're going up the gondola, I'm going to have to layer something else on. So I have another vest in here. And I do remember that this vest I got at Ex Officio. That's all over the place. And it looks like this. It has lots of pockets in it, but I'm only probably going to put my lift tickets in there. There are pickpocketers everywhere. And they're professional. So I wouldn't put anything valuable in these pockets. And if you're in line and you just got your ticket and you've used it and it's punched, then you can put it in your pocket. But look at me layering this up. And ladies, try to get a feel for how many outfits this could possibly make. I'm just going to layer the vest right over this. I want you to be thinking what you have at home to do this with. Okay. So another outfit, slightly changed up. I can button it all the way up if I want. And then I always have a lightweight coat with me. I bring this everywhere. It's unlined. And I think that's a good point. Bring an unlined coat because you want to layer up. If you have too heavy of a coat, then you're overheated, okay, where you can unlayer if you don't. It also has a hood in the collar. And in the Northwest, we can get these anywhere. So this is all buttoned up. We went all the way up to the Schilthorn. We went in the restaurant and we got a Heidi Cocoa. You know what that is? Oh, it's good. Now, I'm not really a drinking woman. I don't drink that much. But this is cocoa with schnapps. It just warms the cockles of your heart. It is just amazing. So anyway, we all went up there and got a Heidi Cocoa, and then we were going to go outside and take pictures. And I always have a camera packed in my bag. And so I layered all the way up. I've got gloves in the inside pocket, and look how warm I am. That will do the trick. okay? Also, I've made a few outfits that you can see out of this. And so we took our pictures and we went down, and this is on the Europe tour, and we were going into warmer climates after that, radically different. So I'm going to take this off because the next day I needed to change into clothes that weren't so warm. And I'm going to use this black vest and show you how to change up this outfit just a little bit. And I think it's about time that I wore another scarf, don't you? So let me take this off, and I'll just layer it over this. Or you see how the longer vest can become your blouse if it's warm weather, ladies? So I'm going to put this over. I'm going to button it up, and I'm going to tell you another story. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to hunt for what I'm looking for underneath here. So, my scarves. So, you know, while we were getting that Heidi Coco, it's a true story, I was wandering again, and lo and behold, another gift shop was just sitting right there. And it was a wonderful time. We had a great tour group. We were having a blast. And so I always like to make memories. And I found this beautiful, this is silk, and it packs well, Edelweiss scarf that I got there. And so I'm going to use it to punch up this outfit just a little bit. I think a little bit of color is good. Can't really see what I'm doing here, but ladies, you get the idea. It's just going to be around my collar somehow here, and you got another outfit, right? There you go. Are y'all getting some ideas with this, I hope? Okay, good. So I'm dressed for warm weather, too. So now, you see how much clothes you can do this, I'm telling you. We're going down to France, and I'm feeling a little mellow. So I'm going to wear a blue little cardigan. And I'll take this off, and I'm going to reach for my Ooh La La scarf, okay? And this is zipper. I like this. So you can either wear it as a jacket or you can zip it up with, you don't have to have a blouse underneath. You can make it a two-piece outfit. And one of the things I might do is bring a belt with me and belt it, especially if it's a loose top. If it's fitted, you're okay. So that's another outfit. But I may be very Parisian and use my little scarf and tie it in a very traditional way. So they used to put online when they were talking about what I knew, that I knew 101 ways to tie a scarf, and it's probably true. But that's not this session here, okay? So you get what I'm doing. I'm just punching it up a little bit, and I'm tying this traditional way, and I can't really see what I'm doing here, but just to give you an idea of using accessories. And on various packing seminars, sometimes I'll bring one long fake gold chain or one long silver. Make it long, ladies, so you can double it up, triple it up, make it work for you. Earrings, bring that in a small little packet, and you're good to go. Oops, here we go. Put this back on. Yeah. Okay, so gosh, I have one more item to show you, and then I'm going to show you my day bag, and then we are off and running for the next group. But you've got about, gosh, yes, I just showed you about 10 different outfits, didn't I? Voila. There you go. So let me go over to this. You're wondering what this big old hat is, because you know how I mentioned we don't have an ozone layer, so you need SPF on your face all the time. Well, I think that you should bring a crushable hat with you. Maybe not this big. It's big for your sake, so all of you all the way in the back can see this. And I'm going to teach you how to properly wear a hat. How about that? Some of you that know this, that wore hats in the 40s, probably already know this little tip. But you want to get all your hair back away from your face. Let's see if I can do it with the microphone on. I'm going to put it all the way down to my eyebrows. There you go. And so it won't fall in the Grand Canal, I'm going to zip it up here. This is the way to wear a hat. It keeps all the sun off your face. There are crushable hats everywhere, and there are smaller ones. Now, because I'm kind of a scarf person, and let's see where I've got those, and maybe a little bit of a Scarlett O'Hara, just her good qualities. I'm going to punch it up a bit, ladies, with a little color and put it around my hat, okay? You can do this or not, but that's just me, all right? And so after you take your hat off, what are you going to do with the scarf? You're going to wear it. I know what you're thinking. Hat, hair, put your baby powder in here, fluff it up, comb it out, you're good to go. Throw a scarf on, and you're good to go. Voila. So those are all the clothes I showed you. To show you what I didn't show you in here was another pair of khakis and 2 sleeveless mock turtlenecks are in here, and a bathing suit, always a bathing suit, in a baggie in case it gets wet, okay? So let's go to this bag now and look at this water bottle. We have these aluminum water bottles now, and this bottle is on your checklist, on your product list. You can get that today. I really love it because it's aluminum. It's got a clip on it. You can clip it on your bag. This is the iPad bag that I was talking about that really should be named the everything bag because it's not just for technology. In the back, we've got a great, on your checklist also is this travel umbrella I used today. And there's a snap portion here. I'm going to snap it. And it's small, see? Rectangular, small, lightweight, really cool travel umbrella. And I've expanded this to the max. So let's show you what's in here. And the one thing I don't ever want you to put in here is something I'm going to get out next. And that's your money belt. Don't ever put your money belt in your bag because it's meant to be worn, all right? I'm going to tell, why don't I move to this side? Because you know what? I'm going to tell the men how to wear it one way and the women how to wear it another way. And men, let's start with you first. You're going to, it's going to have a really long tail. My tail is cut off here because I have a smaller waist than men. And you can fashion it to your size. So it has a really long tail. Snap it. It goes all the way through. Snap it. And then you're going to tuck it into your pants, okay? We also have the neck type. It's pretty big, the neck money belt. My personal decision, it's a personal choice. I don't like things hanging on my neck except for a scarf. And so I choose to have the money belt. But ladies, oh, men, I'm going to give you a good tip about the ladies, too, before I end that. Men, ladies don't like anything laying on their stomachs. Okay, let me explain that. They're not going to put their money belt tucked in on their stomach. Okay, we have enough going on there. So what I am going to say is we have this arch, right? Well, not, right now I have a bump because I have a microphone pack back here. But we have this arch. This is how I wear my money belt in the back, like this. Put it just a little bit loose. When you need it, turn it around. Take it out of your pants and use it, or skirt. Now, ladies, if you have a dress on, you're in trouble. Let's go to the bathroom, get out what you need. This is your, like a vault, like your bank, okay? So you only want to get in here. What you have in here is the bulk of your money, your passport, the real version, not the copy, your credit cards, you know, your Coke money, what we call Coke money or just day spending money, I'd bury in here, okay? But the bulk of your money in here, all right? So let me tell you a quick little story here. I had a retired couple. They were just retired for the first time. They were great. They read everything, the books. They were ready to go. They were so excited. We get to our first stop, and I'm standing on the microphone telling the group when to come back. And I look out the big bus window, and they're filtering out. And I look at the man, and he has the money belt outside his clothes, big as you please, smiling. And so he was so cute. And so I walked up to him. He goes, "Look, I have my money belt." I said, "I can see that." And I said, "You know, let me give you a good tip." I said, "Your money belt goes inside the pants because nobody's going there." And he's like, "Oh, so that's what you need to remember. You put it where nobody's going." Okay? So wear your money belt. The other items I'm just going to briefly go through is of course, our wonderful books. The 2012 books are out. They're great. I've got my Italy book out here. And if I go on a picnic, oh, I love this. This is on your checklist, product list, picnic wear. It even has a I'm serious, it has a corkscrew in it. You can get it through security. It's enough for 2 people. And somebody on our staff said, yeah, when it's empty, you can unscrew it and put vodka in it. Well, I know, I don't know. You know, I've never tried that, but I wouldn't. But I like the screw top on it because if your utensils are dirty, and let's say you're at the Borghese Gallery and you're at the picnic because it's in the middle of a park, put the dirty utensils in here, pop it into your bag, go into the gallery, you're good to go. It's great. Picnic wear, yay. And so when I'm on my picnic, I like to read a good book. And if I don't have my e-reader with me, my book of choice is Rick's Postcards. No, this is a great book. This has everybody that we do business with and the stories in it, even more stories than I can ever tell you here. I really love this book, so that's a good read. I always have a language book in here. And then I'm going to go into the second pocket that's underneath here. I know some of you, it's hard to see on this side, so I'll hold it up. But you're not going to believe what I have in here, this puffy thing that's absolutely wonderful. This is on your product list. What the heck is this, and why would I bring it? Well, I open it up. On the checklist, it says travel pillow, okay? That's what it is. This is brand new. And we've had it only for, just a few months. And you blow it up. It's really soft material. Blow it up, and you can either wear it behind your neck. You know when you fall asleep and your neck kind of cricks to one side or another? So you can either wear it like this, okay? Or you can wear it in front, because some people nod off down like that. This is deflated. When you inflate it, it comes up to there. And it's really soft, and you can sleep with it. And if you read in bed, it's really great for reading in bed, okay? So I have that in my bag, and I have a camera to remind me that there are this is an old-fashioned camera, but this just reminds me, there's all kinds of cyber cafes. You can download your stuff. You can go on the web. They're all over Europe now. I also want to show you, remember how I was telling you, bring your Coke money? Well, on your product list, that checklist that I've been telling you about through the whole class, is this little lambskin wallet. It's great. It's tiny enough to put a few euros in and some coins, okay? It also has a card in it in some different languages that say if you're, something to the order is, if you're a thief and you have this, there's not a lot of money in here, you know, so this is great. This is for your Coke money. It does have pockets on the outside, okay? I had my glasses in here just a minute ago. I could put anything I want in these pockets here, okay? And then last but not least, and we'll wind this up, I have this is on your product list. It's called a thumb beam illuminator. It's a little flashlight. You know what this is great for, besides reading in bed at night when the other person's sleeping? It is great for, look how bright it is. It's great for when I was talking earlier about those little French hotels that may not have somebody in the lobby, and they sent you outside, you were having a late lunch, and they sent you out with this key this big to open the front door of the hotel. That's a big wooden door, you know, with you feel like you're going into a castle or something. You can use one of these and do that with. And it's got a bunch of uses. I really like it. I keep it at all times. And then the last item I want to show you is just a fun item that I use. We do not sell these, but you can get these anywhere. And this little item is perfect for, let's say, because I'm such an Italian file. My mother's 100% Sicilian, so I come by it honestly. But I take people to the Vatican Museum, okay? It's a long way to the Sistine Chapel, but that's Nirvana, and you finally get there. Some of you know what I'm talking about, okay? When you walk in, it's magnificent. You're basically walking in on the altar, and you see people down there looking up at the ceiling, mouth open, because it's stunning. There's also, art on the walls too, on the sides of the walls. It's not just all the ceiling. But I advocate, in order to save your neck, if you want to be there for a good amount of time, and we let our tour members stay there somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes, and it's going to be packed, is to get an item like this. It's a mirror, okay? And what you want to do is use the mirror, let's say, for the ceiling. Hey, there's the spark of life. There's Elijah. There's Jonah and the whale. It'll really save your neck. And if you go into a cathedral, let's say, and it has some beautiful mosaics on the side of the wall, you can see the mosaics up close, but it's in a smaller venue, saves your neck again, because you're going to be going through a ton of cathedrals. Or you can use it to check out that cute Italian guy behind you. I'm telling secrets. But anyway, that is what I have to show you today. You think you can do it? I think you can. With all this stuff, before you leave here, I've got to leave you with a proverb. It's an old Spanish proverb, so you can kind of get this in your mind. And to sum up everything I've said today is, on a long journey, even a straw weighs heavy. Yes, I want you to think about that today. Thank you for coming. Remember, 20% off.